Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you're enjoying the event and I hope you're enjoying the game. So I've noticed a few people asking some new player questions, so I figured I'd get into it a little bit and kind of try to explain to you guys how to build your characters, what does A1, A2, etc., what does all that stuff mean, and sort of just talk a little bit about what this game is about and what it's like to play this game. So one of the things I enjoy about this game is that there's a lot of cool characters. There's a lot of characters from different franchises, and honestly, I think this game has some of the best collabs of any gacha game ever because they pretty much bring in all the classic fighters from every fighting game that we all used to play and that we still play up until today. So, kind of the other thing I really like about this game too is even though there's a lot of power creep in this game, they always kind of keep you caught up with it. They're always giving you new free characters, at least like one level of the character. Um, they're constantly giving opportunities to get yourself some free rubies and some limited rubies that you can just spend. You don't have to worry about spending your own rubies. So that way you're always kind of getting new characters even if there's a lot of power creep. So as an example, if you go into Dream Match, I'm not going to recommend that Dream Match is like the most awesome thing. But you can see all the characters that you may have already missed if you're a new player. They're all here. They're all usable. You can't own them for yourself, but you can at least use them and try them out and kind of see what you miss. So that's kind of a good thing about this game. I don't really recommend Dream Match as a fun mode. It's more so of a mode to unlock stuff and to sort of just prove yourself if you want to be the type of person to get like 100 wins in a row. Okay, guys, so with all that said, let's get into what it means to be level 90, what it means to be A1, what it means to be A3, A4, and A5. I think that's probably the best way to break it down. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at my Ken because I haven't really powered up my Ken all that much, and he's honestly not even at the top of my list unless I missed him here. So let's go ahead and sort this by Street Fighter 6 so that we can get my Ken all the way to the top. Okay, so my Ken is level 90, right? So he is maxed in terms of level, but I actually haven't really touched him much more aside from that. He has the core board, and honestly, I would recommend that whenever you get a new character, you just fully unlock this to the best of your ability. Bare minimum, like you probably don't want to use the bare minimum, but bare minimum you want to unlock their skill, their active skill 3 right here, and I think this is their special. So you want to have at least both of those so that you can at least have all of their attacks, but honestly you want to have them as maxed as possible. What I already did was I limit broke him, so he's already up to level 90, and you also can evolve him. So after level 90, to get past level 90, you need another memory of the character. So you would need another copy. You would need to pull another copy. So I don't have another copy of Ken, unfortunately, so I'm just going to leave him here at level 90. So this is the limit break I was talking about. You can either use his shards or you can use any of the colored shards that are here. And so that's pretty much it for a level 90 character. If we go to his skills, you can see what I was talking about. He doesn't have his Shoryuken unlocked, and he doesn't have his special or his finisher unlocked. That one's called the Shippu Jurai Kyaku. Sorry guys, that's a Japanese word. I don't exactly know how to pronounce that. And this up here is the Awaken skill, and you unlock this as soon as you get to Awaken skill 1. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about Awaken skill. So what Awakening allows you to do, aside from the Awaken skill, is that it allows you to equip a second special card, and that could either be a second copy of Ken's card in this case, or it could be one of these elemental colored cards. Okay, so Awakening, what it also does is it unlocks your Imprint Stone slots. So once you get to A1, it'll unlock the first one, A2 the second one, and A3 will actually unlock the whole thing. And that's why A3 is sort of seen as sort of like a standard level for a fighter. That's probably the minimum that you want to get a fighter, like your favorite fighter from the collab, try to get them to A3 before the collab ends, so that way you have a pretty good character that's probably going to take you at least until the next collab. Alright, so now that we have talked about a fighter at level 90, let's look at a character that I have up to awakening level 1, and actually I don't have her awakened quite yet, but I do have her memory here. So this is the memory I got from using the pity selector, so I'm just going to use that to awaken her. Bam. And actually, just awakening her, you won't be able to unlock the Imprint Stone. Actually, you can. So usually you have to get them to level 1, level 11, or level 21, but I guess considering the first awakening, it automatically gets you to level 1, so it'll unlock you this first slot. With this one you need to reach 11, and this one you need to reach 21. When you awaken for the second time, you don't automatically get that unlocked. You have to level them up a little bit more, so you would just do this until you gain 1 level. So make sure when you get to A2 and A3, you probably want to max it to level 20 or 30, but make sure you at least do to 21 or 31. Actually at 30 I think you're fine. So 11 or 21 to unlock the Imprint Stones. Okay, so as I was saying, I should have her cores already unlocked. So here's what she looks like maxed out, and this is what it looks like when she has the full skill board unlocked. So there is her active 2, her active 3, and her finisher, and then she just got the awakening skill. Okay, so let's move on to an A3 fighter, which would be my Guile. So the biggest difference here is that Guile is now able to equip. Not only does he have all 3 of these stones that he's unable to equip, but he also has the last 2 slots unlocked. So in this, usually for collabs, you don't automatically get the Imprint Stones just for getting to A4, but you do get the ones up to A3. So for this, you have to actually craft it, and I just finished crafting it, so I'm just going to throw it on him. But you can actually just go ahead and throw any of these that aren't already linked to another fighter, and you have to also just make sure that it's the right element. And if you want to go one step further, if you look at the fist there, you can just kind of look for the fist here on the abilities, and you probably want a blast type for Guile, but for right now it doesn't even really matter. This would probably be good enough for him that you could just throw him on. Usually these aren't necessarily the best Imprint Stones that you could throw them on, but they're pretty good. They're usually pretty good, and most of us tend to keep these on because making Imprint Stones can become annoying just because of all the different elements. So if you don't manage to get the Imprint Stones before the event, it's not the end of the world. You can potentially get better Imprint Stones out of these, but they're just annoying to make, so a lot of us just try to make these because it's a lot easier. So this is pretty much what you're going to get out of Awakening 3, and that's going to be good. So the next step is actually Awakening 4, and so what that's going to give you is the power to actually, it looks like he could equip it here. So he's fine, but usually Awakening 4 will pretty much automatically unlock this. So let's actually go and add our Street Fighter 5 characters. I think that might be a good example. So let's go ahead and do that. If I were to add my Luke, for example. Okay, looks like he could also equip it. So, okay, so Chun-Li, I just don't have any plugins for her, but it looks like she can equip it. So I don't know if I have a good example for you guys. So let me go ahead and just add everyone back in. I thought I had a good example before, but I'm not really seeing it right now. Maybe it was Jin? No. So looks like you can unlock the plugins at A3, but it's really based on, so for example, let me go ahead and grab an A2 character. I think this should be one, and I don't have, Let me take a look at Cammy. I don't have any for Cammy. Okay. I'm not able to find a good example, but essentially what you need to have to be able to unlock these is actually you need to reach a certain amount of overpower level, and that would be right here, the OP level. And it looks like for a lot of my characters, I already have that stuff unlocked, but I think A4 is the spot where you would be able to unlock those plugins, essentially. Alright, so when it comes to A5, so an example of A5 that someone had just got to A5, there really isn't anything else here that will show you. What it allows you to do is to awaken to level 8, awaken level 60 or 70, so A6 or A7, using these memories that are called prime. Let me see if I could open this up. They're called prime memories. And so the thing with prime memories is that you don't have to pull another copy of the fighter. You can just craft them by going to your dispatch missions. So in your dispatch missions, whenever you have an S mission, go ahead and throw in one of your EX or UE fighters. And by the end of the mission, you're going to get these prime memory shards. And then you can use those prime memory shards, go into craft, go down to this tab here. And then, for example, Jamie. So I only need about 80 more, and then I could buy his prime memory, and that's going to allow me to take him specifically from A5 all the way to A9. For the older characters right now, they're only going up to A7, but you want to try to max them out as much as you can. If you can get them to A5, then at that point you can then buy these memories and then take them even further all the way up to either A7 or A9. So with all that being said, let me show you the difference between levels here. And I think this is probably going to be the best example for me to show you guys. So remember guys, my Ken is level 90. So good, he's in the first slot. Let's put Cammy in the second slot. So Ken is level 90, Cammy is Awakening 1, and Jamie here is Awakening level 7 at this point. There's really not going to be much of a difference visually in the battle between Cammy and Jamie. Jamie's just going to be a lot stronger. So take a look. He's got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got about 2 million CP, and Cammy's got about 700,000. So that's going to be what the difference is between Awakening 1 and Awakening 7. All right, so let's go into this battle and see what the difference is here. So Ken is going to have the ability, actually I don't think I even unlocked his core, so you guys can even see that. Ken with 0 cores unlocked, he's not going to have his special, and he's not going to have his skill 3. So my game kind of froze there. So that's it. He's going to be able to use his active skills, and then he's going to be able to use his special. So this special is part of the card. If you have his card equipped, you can use his special. Or, you know, like it's called an Ultra in Street Fighter, I think, or a Super. So there you go. Ken got killed. So notice right here how now I have this thing that's called the Awakening skill for Cammy. So what that allows you to do is you can use your active skills, and you don't have to wait for this timer. You can just press the Awaken skill button, and now you have a duration of 10 seconds where you could just spam your active skills over and over again. And, you know, this is a tough fight, so I ended up getting killed. And now for Jamie, notice how he's just going to clean up the entire thing because he's just so much stronger. I'm going to go ahead and Awaken, and I'm just going to destroy these guys. So Jamie's already down. So as you can see, huge power level difference right there. Cammy being awakened to level 1, she died pretty quickly, and having Jamie at E7, he was able to just instantly kill the entire level 30, which is the last level of the tower. He was able to kill it within like 5 seconds. So that's going to be the advantage of getting to A7. And last thing I forgot to mention, let's go back to our fighters. And so as you can see, like I mentioned before, all you need to be is A3 to unlock all the Imprint Stones. But right now my Guile's Imprint Stones, I don't have all of them, and they're not all maxed out to level 10. So I'm going to use Jamie for this example. So just kind of, let's just notice the difference in his CP as we change this. So remember guys, I mentioned he's about 2.7 million CP at this point. So let's take off his Imprint Stones and see what happens. I guess it's unlock here. Sorry guys, I was about to unpair, and unpair is not what you want to do, because that's going to cost you some of the mats that you want to use. So notice how much further and further down his stats are going. And if we go back to here, he went from 2.7 million to 1.7 million. So he essentially lost 1 million CP just by taking off all the stones. So I'm not saying Guile is going to gain 1 million CP just by getting all his stones. The higher you get in awakening levels, the more value you get out of the stones, because they're increasing your... So since he's already paired, you can see here his stones already paired to him, so it makes it a little easier to pick them out. But once you pair to one unit, you can't unpair it unless you have this item here. This item here, what's it called? I don't remember what it's called. But you have to farm this item to be able to unpair. Usually you don't want to unpair. You can just because you guys see that there's specific Street Fighter 6 Imprint Stones, you don't have to use them. They're kind of just pretty good ones. They're kind of like A class Imprint Stones, but you can definitely get better, or you could definitely get equivalent stones. So don't really stress about that too much. But what the Imprint Stones do is that they actually raise your attack by a certain percentage, right? So the higher attack, basic damage by 100%, and attack by 10%. So the higher your attack gets from awakening to level 7, awakening level 7, that attack stat is going to be multiplied by 10%, by, you know, that added 10%, and it's going to give you that much more CP, and that's why it's so important to keep awakening your fighters. But yeah, getting someone to A3 is basically like a minimum standard for a character. If you want them to kind of last you a few collabs, let's just say at least to the next collab, but a few different banners essentially. Because once the new banners start coming out, your level 90s are going to start becoming kind of useless. Not useless, but the new fighter is going to be way better than whatever you have here. So A3, A5 are kind of just goals for you to get. And if you have more and more rubies saved up, you would kind of just want to try to invest directly into one character, so you could at least get them to level 50. And if we do get free characters in the future, sometimes they only go up to A20, sometimes A30, sometimes all the way to A50. But you kind of want to try to use those characters that are at least A30 plus. So as an example, my Ivy here is from 2 collabs ago. She's up to 400,000 CP. She's right behind the Street Fighter character, so she's been able to last up until this point. So I still really like Ivy. She's pretty good, but eventually you're gonna get replaced by the newer characters. CP isn't the best form of measuring the power, because Jackie is actually stronger than Ivy, but his CP is a little lower just because his kit is designed very differently from what Ivy is designed. And Akira, the Polygon Akira, also way better than Ivy. So that doesn't necessarily mean everything, but it kind of just gives you an idea of where your fighter can compete. Alright, so hopefully I covered everything there, and hopefully you guys can understand what I mean by all that stuff. So guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you continue to enjoy this game and keep playing, because this game is kind of one of the most fun games that I played, and it's extremely generous in that you'll be able to keep getting characters. And even though the old characters are not as good anymore, you can still use them for stuff. You could just use your favorite characters like Chun-Li or Ryu. Like I use Ryu all the time, especially for Dream Match. So you don't have to worry too much about that kind of stuff. Alright guys, so thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.